My husband has been cruel ever since his father died, and last night he crossed a line I can't unsee. I got home from a house appraisal at 9:40 p.m. and found my son Callum sitting on the top stair in the dark, still in his school clothes, holding his arm against his chest. He flinched when I reached for his sleeve. I pulled it up anyway. 4 dark marks curved into the skin above his elbow, evenly spaced, exactly where 4 fingers grip when a grown man squeezes a kid's arm. I'm a residential appraiser. I get paid to notice things other people miss, and I know the difference between an accident and something done on purpose. My husband Foster was downstairs in his dead father's recliner with a glass of his dead father's bourbon. When I asked what happened to our son's arm, he didn't look up. He said Callum fell off his bike. I said the bike was still in the garage, dusty, kickstand down, because it had rained for 3 days straight. Foster set his glass down slow and said, "Are you calling me a liar in my own house?" I went upstairs instead of arguing with a man holding a glass like a weapon he hadn't decided to use yet. Callum wouldn't look at me either. He said he'd been dusting the shelf with his grandfather's watch on it, the one his dad told him never to touch, and he knocked it off trying to see the engraving on the back. The crystal cracked. He said his dad grabbed him so hard he yelped before he even felt the pain. Then he said, "Dad's face didn't look like Dad's face, Mom. That's the line I can't unsee, not the bruise." The way my 11-year-old described his own father like a stranger had been wearing his face since the funeral. The next morning, Foster left before either of us woke up, and there was a brand new phone on the kitchen table, still in the box, with a note that said he was sorry Callum banged up his arm on the driveway. He couldn't even keep his own lie straight overnight. Callum saw it and said he didn't even want it. That night I asked Foster, calmly, if we could see a counselor together, because something in our house had stopped being safe. He sat there turning his father's cracked watch over in his hands, refusing to get it fixed, and told me I was overreacting to one bad night. Then he said his own father used to grab him a lot harder than that, and he turned out fine. He said it flat, like a fact, not hearing what he'd just admitted out loud. I asked him to listen to himself. He got up and went back to the bourbon. I should say who we were before any of this. I'm Josie, 36, married to Foster 9 years. I met him at a house closing, sawdust in his hair, tape measure in his hand for his father's company, Lindquist & Son Custom Woodworking, 40 years restoring old houses around Cedar Bend. His father Grady built it from nothing, and was proud of it the way some men are proud of a war they never came home from. Grady corrected people mid-sentence and called it teaching. He told Foster his joints were sloppy in front of clients. He told me my appraisals were generous, like accuracy was an insult. Foster's mother died when he was 19, and Foster always said Grady got harder after that, like grief scraped something soft off him, and it never grew back. I used to watch Foster brace his shoulders in his father's driveway like he was walking into a fight. I told myself that was just how some fathers and sons were. Grady died 14 months before the night I found the bruise. Heart attack in his own shop, found face down by his foreman. Foster identified the body himself, then stood in our driveway for 20 minutes afterward, not crying, just standing there with his keys in his hand. At the funeral, a man I didn't recognize stood at the very back the whole service, never signed the guest book, and slipped out before the reception even started. Foster saw him too. I watched my husband's face go the color of the folded programs in his hand. When I asked who that was, he said he had no idea, and changed the subject so fast I let it drop. Within 2 months, Foster had moved into his father's locked office, and started drinking Grady's bourbon out of Grady's glass every single night. He wouldn't let me touch anything of his father's. Not the recliner, not the tool bench, not a framed photo that somehow migrated to his nightstand. Then I found a bank statement addressed only to him, from a lender I'd never heard of, sitting in our mail. 3 weeks later, I found a crumpled receipt in Foster's jacket pocket for a storage unit his father had paid in cash every month for 22 years, one none of us had ever heard of. Full story is only on Spotify. Search BearyReads and follow.